Hello, just to show you a bit about how PBI might work. Now, first of all, I'm going to run through a few mechanisms here to show how a game might flow. This is only a little snapshot of a game. I've got a whole British platoon here of 8th Army, and the Italians are just given us 6 bases. So let's say this is part of a game. Now, the Italian's going to be in defence, so I'm going to put the officer there with a rifleman. I'm going to put an LMG to one side. I'm going to put a rifle, and another LMG there. LMGs are fairly generic in PBI. There are differences for German machine guns, BARs, stuff like that. So the Italians occupied 3 squares. The British, I'll start them down here in 3 squares as well. I'll put the light machine guns, 2 of them there. A little light mortar with them. Put a couple of riflemen here, and I put the big group with the officer there. Now, the placing the officer is important. Here's the officer of the Italians. Anything in proximity is fairly easy to motivate. If it's more than proximity, the opponent can ask for a re-roll. So here, the British have put their officer on the right, deliberately so he can attack the village. And these men are further out and a lot further out. Now, so this officer here, he's got 2 lots in proximity, which is really good. Now, let's begin. This is how it might start. Let's say it's the Italian's turn at the moment. So the Italian's about to do a turn. The officer gets 3 motivations. He's only in 3 squares anyway. For his own square, he rolls a dice, and he's allowed to re-roll if he likes. 3, well, I think 3 would probably be all right. Any square in proximity, he rolls the dice, but cannot re-roll it. The men in the village, a 6, brilliant. Then he'll leave it as a 6. The men to his right, a 2, that's fine. Those are their points. Now, with their points, they could move, shoot, all sorts of things. And I'll show you how it might go. The 3 points here, he's going to use it to shoot at this group here. The reason he's shooting at this group here is because once you hit 4 bases in the square, they become crowded. Remember, though, these are 60 metre squares, so he's shooting at a range of 180 metres away, so it wouldn't be that close in real life. Also, if the 60 metre scale were true, the figures are only be about 7mm high. But they're bigger because they're nicer to look at, nicer to paint, and more tactile. Now, he's going to shoot. He's got a rifleman shooting 1, 2, 3. The officer's armed with a pistol. In PBI, pistols have no range whatsoever. The figures are cheaper, but there we go. In fact, on thinking about it, with just 3 dice, the amount of shooting back might be horrible. So he won't shoot at them, he'll shoot at these 3 riflemen instead. They're not crowded, but they've got less firepower. So, they roll the 3 dice, seeking 6s. Ooh, 2 hits. That's incredible. 2 a hit there. All the saves are 4, 5, 6s. There's +2 for woods, +2 for buildings, +1 for partial cover. I haven't put any out yet. So they're going to need 4, 5, 6 to save. I roll 2 dice, a 3 and a 5. Well, one of them's dead. I take him off, put down a dead body. Now, when you're shot at, you can shoot back. The game isn't instantaneous. It's not simultaneous. It's actually sequential. That means that there's only 2 to shoot back. They shoot back at 1 point each, 2 dice. They get a 6. Oh, hit one of the Italians. It's always the target choosing where to put the hits to stop players saying, I want all the hits on the bazooka man or your general, whatever. I'll try and save the Italian rifleman. 1. Blimey, they're a bit unlucky today. The Italian's gone. I'll put body down. He's done. I'll pick the 3 up. They're done. I have to do 1 square at a time. I can't do 1 point there, 1 point here, 1 point there. Just silly. 2 points there, but he's a machine gun. He will shoot at the crowded square. Now, machine guns usually shoot with 2 dice. But if it's crowded with 4 or more bases, you get 4 dice per shot. So Italian machine guns are going to shoot with that many dice. Of course, he needs 6s. So 2 points is 2 shots. I roll them, and he gets 1 hit. The British owner decides to put just on a rifleman. He always expend a rifleman. Try and save him. A 1. Another 1. He's dead as well. Let's put down another body. There we go. They will shoot back though. Now the officer's got a submachine gun, which only got a range proximity range. He's out of range. There's 2 riflemen, 1 rifleman, 2 riflemen, and a Bren gun with 2 dice. Machine guns get 2 dice per shot unless the opponent's crowded. I'll shoot back, and no 6s as expected. Players shouldn't expect a lot of kills. That was quite a deadly turn there. He's done. Now, these Italians here in the village people, they got 6 points. You can only shoot with up to 3 points. They can't see these men here because they have to cut across this square. They could move up, but they don't really want to. So they're going to shoot all the way over to here. No, in fact, originally 2, they're on their own. The reason you can shoot at these because they can't shoot back with very much, whereas the machine guns might be a bit trouble. Now, the Italians got 6 points. Use up to 3 for shooting. The light machine gun shoots with 2, 2, 2. That's 3 shots for the light machine gun. The first rifle base, 1, 1, 1. Another rifle base, 1, 1, 1. The whole bundle of dice. Now 6 are erratic, but it might be good. We've got 2 hits, 2 6s. Now there's only 2 bases there, so it's obviously which 2 it's on. The owner can't say put both on the same man. It's obviously 1 per base. Let's just roll their saves. Now 1 is always a dead no matter what modifiers are applied, and 6 is always a save. Now base it's 4, 5, 6 to save. He's only got a 3, so he's dead as well. He's gone. It's because he's walking across in the open, which isn't wise. Shoots back with 1 base. No, nothing. Now the Italians had 6 points here. They had 6 points. They've got 3 more points. They could move, but I think they're not going to. If troops don't move in a turn, they can do a thing called taking cover. So they're taking cover. They're taking cover. In fact, they would have had at the start of the game. And they're taking cover. Taking cover adds 1 to your saving roll, but it's taken away if anyone else walks through it because they've given away your position. Let's do the British turn. Now, British has got 3 motivations. I'll do the officer. He's allowed to re-roll, but 4's probably enough. The square next to him, as it falls, 6. Marvellous. That square's not proximity, it's too far away, so I can roll. The Italian can ask for re-roll. I think he'd ask for a re-roll of 5. Yes, there we go. There's the numbers. You must do the rolls first. Now, with his 4 points, I want to get at these Italians in the village. So I think what I'd do is ignore the casualty for the moment and move 1, 2, because it only costs 1 to go into scenery but 2 to get out. Men are always keen to get into cover. That's very wise as an infantryman, but they're not so quick to come out. I'm going to send them all in there. That's cost me 2 points. If you ever arrive on someone's face, they can shoot you in the face. Now, fortunately for the British, there's a light machine gun and 2 rifles. So rifles shoot once each. They just get 1 free shot. Machine gun gets 4 dice because it's a crowded target. 6 dice into them. They got no hits at all. Marvellous. So the British have gone 1 square, 2 square. Got 2 points left. If I shoot, the Italians will shoot back, but I think I'd like to shoot. The British got 2 points of shooting. Officer submachine gun, 1 shot, 2 shot. Rifle, 1 shot, 1 shot. Another rifle. And a light machine gun, 2 per shot. The reason the more dice are here is because you've got a light machine gun and an officer with a Thompson submachine gun. Let's roll those dice. 2 hits. Now, the owner chooses, and he'll probably put it both on riflemen. We always roll the dice first and then work out whether saved or not in a minute. Well, 1's always a dead. There's no excuse. 1 is always dead, 6 is always okay. Now, let's look at the 4. Basic say 4, 5, 6. 2 more for being in buildings, really good. 1 more for taking cover. 1 less for short range. So he's going to be saving on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, he's not dead, but they killed 1 of them. Now, because they shot the Italians shoot back again. Light machine gun gets 4 dice because the target's crowded. And the rifle gets 1 dice. Here's the Italians shooting back. Oh, 2 hits. They always lose the second hit because they're getting free opportunity shooting. Opportunity shooting is not as good as paid for shooting. The British decided to put a hit on a rifleman. One. You know one's dead. Don't need to look it up. There's a body. That's not so good there then. Oh well, there we go. Now he's spent his 4 points to take the dice off. 6 points. Now here's what I'm going to do here. It's 2 points to remove a casualty. So 2 points takes a casualty off. Another 2 points takes that casualty off. And he'll move 1, 2 squares to be here, to be near the boss. These only got 2 points. I think they should shoot across here and try and pin these Italians down. When we work out range, we count in squares, no diagonals. So the range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rifle's got a range of 6 squares, so there's not a problem at all. Remember, 6 squares would be 360 metres, which is quite good in combat terms. I know rifles have a theoretical range of 1,000 metres, but that's not practical. You're not going to waste ammo shooting at people you can't see. They're going to shoot twice. The Italians here aren't crowded, they're just normal. So, the Bren gun, that's 1 shot, 2 shot. There's another Bren gun. There we go. Oh, this is a light mortar. He doesn't shoot small arms. So these 8 dice are going to shoot the Italians in the buildings. I've got no hits at all. The Italians in the buildings shoot back, but they're only a rifle and a rifle, so 2 dice back. I think I took off the wrong... Yeah, 2 dice back, no hits back. Now, the mortar can shoot. It's going to shoot either high explosive or smoke. I could use smoke to block the enemy, but I think I use high explosive. I'm going to high explosive on these men. Now, when a mortar shot hits, we put down a marker. When the mortar shoots, it can shoot high explosive or smoke. It's only a little 2-inch mortar, it's not very effective. I'll put a high explosive. There's a high explosive on there. All mortar shots can be deviated by the target on a 1 or a 6. 1 is too short, 6 is too over. 1 is too short. Now, because players might argue about diagonal, short and over, short is always towards the owner's base edge, 6 is always towards the enemy base edge. Most deviation artillery mortars in World War II was short or over rather than left or right. Now it's landed on here. A light mortar will hit everyone with 2 dice effect. A medium mortar would hit everyone with 3 dice effect. Off-table high explosive hits everyone with a 4 dice effect. Anyway, that means there's 2 dice per base, which is a bit unfortunate for the British. 2 dice against the LMG. He's hit. Does he save? 6. He's also save, yeah. 2 dice against the rifleman. He's hit as well. Crikey. Does he save? Yes. 2 dice against the officer. He's not hit. Now, if there are any hits, you might get a pinned result as well, but it didn't have any effect, so that was lucky. Silly mortar man. Now, the British have finished their turn. Now, Italians start their turn. They would do morale. There's 2 bodies. 2 bodies constitutes just 1 problem. You only take morale when you're at 2 problems. That's why the British cleared some of their casualties out of the way. Let's begin. Now, before we do anything, we need to give some motivation dice. The officer rolls for himself. He's allowed to re-roll because he's the officer. He's got 4 points. Don't forget, you must declare what you're rolling for. You can't just roll a dice and say, oh, I'll give it to the men over there. The light machine gun next to him, 3. He can't re-roll that because it's in proximity. The infantry in the buildings, they get a 4. They're all good scores. The officer's only got a pistol. He's not going to move because he'll spoil their taking cover. Actually, he could move. No, he's going to stay where he is. He's used 2 points to take a body off, help alleviate morale. And the other 2 points can do absolutely nothing. He's done. Notice, you spend all 4 points, then move on to the next thing. 3 points to the machine gun. He could shoot across at these British here or there. I might shoot at them there. That might be a good idea. 3 points of shooting. They're not crowded. So it's 2 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice. That's the Italian machine gun shooting at the British in the open. Nothing at all. The British shoot back with 2 dice to Bren, 2 dice to the other Bren. The light mortar doesn't get to respond, doesn't get to shoot back. Oh, terrible. No effect at all. That machine is finished. Now the 4 points here, the Italians could assault, but even against 3 bases, I'm not sure it's a good idea. I think they should shoot 3 times. There's only 2 riflemen there. So the first rifleman shoots 1-1-1. Second rifleman shoots 1-1-1. And there they go. 3 is the maximum number of points of shooting. 1 hit. Now the target, the British choose where to put it. They put it on the rifleman. Does he save? Yeah, he's fine. When you shoot at people, they respond, even if it's not their turn. They shoot back with 2 for the Bren, 2 for the submachine gun, and 1 for the rifle. This is the British shooting back. They've got 1-6. Italians put on a rifleman. He's fine. The reason he's fine is because it's +2 for the buildings, +1 for taking cover, -1 for short range. There aren't many modifiers, and that's all of them. So they're fine. Now the Italians got 1 spare point. You can't take body off for 1 point. You need 2 points. They're done. Now let's do the British turn. This will be the last turn I'll show you to see how things are going. The British turn. There's 3... He's in 3 squares again, which is good. You could spread out more if you're in defence, but you only motivate 3 squares. Officer motivates his own square. 2 is no good. Rerolls. 6. Brilliant. He's going to motivate the square just behind him with that rifleman in it. A 4. He can't reroll because it's in proximity. Now they're a long way away. They've rolled a 5. The opponent can say re-roll, which he does. Re-roll. Oh, still a 5. All right. Now, I think with their 5, they should probably try and kill the officer. If an officer's killed, they're out of command. They've got to get a new officer. 3 times is the most shooting they can do. So that's a Bren shooting 3 times. 2-2-2. Here's a Bren shooting again 3 times. 2-2-2. I'm shooting at the officer. I get 2 hits. That means the officer got to do 2 saves. We roll the dice first. Don't look it up and then do it. We roll the dice first. Well, 4s, he's going to be absolutely fine. He can't return fire because he's armed with a pistol. And they've still got 2 points left. I think I'll manoeuvre 1, 2. Because we're only doing a little gamette type thing anyway. Now, the light mortar's only allowed to shoot once in a turn. But he's going to drop high explosive again on these Italians and see what happens now. So there he goes again. Deviation. 2. 2's on target. 1 is short. 6 is over. 2, 3, 4, 5 on target. It's 2 dice per base. So 2 dice at the first rifle base. He's not hit. 2 dice. No, it's not hit. But little light mortar isn't very consequential. Could have killed someone, but there we go. So they're done. Now it's 2 points shoot the mortar. He's got enough time to catch up with this square. Squares can be shared out and move around, no problem at all. His 4 points as a rifleman, I'm going to move him... No, I'll leave him where he is because he might be needed in a minute. Now, they've got 6 points here. It's 4 points to assault. Got 2 spare points. I think we should shoot twice and then assault for 4 points. If you assault, it's the last thing you do in a turn. Right, 2 points of shooting. The Bren gun gets 2-2. The submachine gun with the officer also gets 2-2. And the rifle gets 1-1. It may look a lot of dice, but getting 6s, we're expecting 1, maybe 2. 1. The Italian puts it on his rifleman. 1. That is bad luck. There we go. He shoots back with his 1 remaining base. 1 dice. No. Rifles don't get any pluses for crowded targets. Machine guns do. Now, the remaining 4 points is an assault. I'm going to move the buildings purely for clarity. When you assault, the assaulting bases move in to the enemy square. This is the only time you're allowed to move into an enemy square. The only time. Although it's an assault, it's not hand-to-hand combat. It's a 60-metre square. But it means you're in close and personal. So it's going to be more brutal. Because in an assault, it's still 6s, but 6s are kills, not hits, but kills. Now this is how it works. Every base starts with 3 dice. The British have got 1 base, 2 base, 3 base. There we go. The Italians only got 1 base. He's a bit doomed, isn't he? But it shows what's going on. Now, because the British are attacking a building, they lose a dice each. Because buildings are great for defenders or great for the targets. But, so you've got submachine gun, 1 more dice for there. An officer also gets 1 more dice because he's leading the assault. Doesn't help him with your target, but it helps when you're assaulting. The Italians got no pluses whatsoever. They've still got a chance because it's 6s. Now, the Italians, the target goes first, which is a disadvantage deliberately. 1 player to take the initiative. They're going to roll 3 dice, trying to get 6s. They've got no 6s. They're allowed to re-roll. Everyone's allowed to. They've killed 1 British base. Ooh. The British, we only got to kill 1. They win. None. They're allowed to re-roll. Well, that's amusing. That means the Italians kill 1 British base. There's a body. And they win. The winner always gets 2d6. And 5 or 6s gets extra kills. He's killed another one. British gives up there. Oh, dear me. Well, that was amusing, wasn't it? Now, the extra base falls back. Allowed to drag 1 body out with him. Just 1. Well, British are about done there, aren't they? So well done the Italians. One other thing. Any markers in the square after an assault are removed, so there's no one's taking cover any longer. And the Italians triumph there. Well, good for them. Now, I'm going to stop that at that point because you've seen how it works. But here's the thing I want to just make very clear. Is that don't be the player that turns up with a set of rules, only having read them a little bit, or the other players don't know what's going on, so I'm going to put everything on the table. We're going to have bazookas, flamethrowers, tanks, field guns. I chuck it all on the table. Everyone says, well, this is a slow game. You have to keep looking things up all the time. Well, yes, because you've not read the rules. You need to read the rules and maybe lend them to the other players. Let them take part in the game. Read the rules. I suggest that for the first 3 games, just a single platoon versus a single platoon. Because PBI is an infantry game. The tanks and guns and flamethrowers, they're all extras. They're not part of the main game. The main game is about infantry. How to deploy them, how to move them. So, please, your first few games, just do a platoon aside and get used to moving around, controlling your platoon. It's very easy, but what will kill a game is a player turning up a set of rules he's not read or tried out, and the players say, oh, fantastic, we can get all our tanks and aeroplanes and aircraft carriers, we're going to get them all out and see how it goes. Oh, these rules are terrible, I have to keep looking things up. Well, of course you have to look things up because you've not read the rules. So, platoon on platoon, do that a few times, have a little game, just say, oh, now I see how it works. Do start with just platoon on platoon. Don't start with everything on the table. It's a very, very bad idea. And that's why a lot of players say that, oh, I don't get this game because we put everything on the table. I keep looking things up. Well, of course you do. It's just stating the obvious. Good luck.